Hey yo, YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Black Privilege. And yesterday I made a video accusing Kanye West of riding Donald Trump's alpha male coattails. And I apologize for that. I didn't see the full TMZ interview. After seeing it, I'm left with two impressions. Like, one, Kanye never said that 400 years of slavery is a choice. He said that 400 years of slavery sounds like a choice. And I think he's trying to be facetious with his words. I think he was trying to be he was trying to be as provocative as possible, but he was doing so in more in the lines of saying that we choose certain types of slavery, that we shouldn't be so beholden to the Democratic Party, because it in itself, voting 95% to the Democratic Party is a certain type of slavery on its own grounds. And I think that's what he really meant. And it goes well with Candace Owens' belief that the Democratic Party has too much of a stranglehold on the black community, that we are in fact their slaves. That's what I think he's trying to say. That's the one thing I took away from it. The second thing is that Kanye still doesn't care about conservative politics, about free market capitalism and borders and national defense. I think what Kanye is trying to resurrect is not white supremacy. He's trying to resurrect a new sense of fellowship between black men. Kanye stood his ground and tried to advocate for the 4,000 dead black men who were killed in Chicago without the same fanfare given to a Mike Brown, a McQuan McDonald, or what have you. Kanye is trying to bring about a new fellowship with black men. And it makes me wonder, why did the Democratic establishment close ranks and start attacking him? Because they swarmed the brother. They swarmed the brother. And I'm not just talking about MSNBC and CNN. Of course, they had something to say about Kanye, of course. But we're talking about Vox. We're talking about BuzzFeed. We're talking about Ebro in the Morning, other rappers, and TMZ himself. And it makes you wonder, why are they so adamant on painting Kanye West insane? Yeah, he had an emotional breakdown, but I think he's thinking more clairvoyantly now than he ever has before. It's the Democratic Party. I think they know that Kanye has the power to cause a schism between African Americans, because Kanye could take a lot of Generation X black centrists and conservatives with him if he really goes after the Democrats. And I think that's what they're trying to stop. I think that's why Ebro is on CNN saying, "Oh, I'm not going to debate Candace Owens or whatever her name is, little bitch." Excuse my language. I'm not going to say that Ebro. I don't want to use the term pussy to describe Ebro in the Morning. He's a radio host. I don't want to use. I don't want to use vulgar language and calling him a pussy. So I am just going to say that Ebro is a soft, empty cavity waiting for masculine strength to come inside of him. That's what I'm saying. The Democratic Party is weak, and they're circling the wagons, and they're punishing dissenters. Kanye West is a dissenter. And like I said before, I think his power lies in the fact that he's just at the cusp of being a millennial and a Generation Xer. So he saw a level of prosperity. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm an old Gen Xer. When I came to the States, there was a lot of prosperity there. I mean, and there was a clear line of delineation between right and wrong, black versus white. On the outside, you had your Tookie Williams, your fat cats, and your drug dealers. And in the inside, you had your Family Matters, you had your Philip Drummonds and your Different Strokes and your Facts of Life and your Jeffersons and stuff like that. You had a vision of prosperity. You had the Cosbys, and on the streets was the killers and shit. So being somewhat conservative came natural to me. It's how I stayed alive. Worse yet, the 80s, at least just before Kanye West's generation, Jay-Z's generation, Sean Combs' generation, they gave you the impression that you could run America with just one of these, that you could write. You could write poetry. You could draw comic books. You could own the world with the pencil in your hand and whatever in your mind. That optimism, that American dream has been faded away, because what I'm seeing is that the millennials are choosing an American nightmare. They're choosing a lot of conspiracy theories, that hope and optimism is not in their future anymore. So they're looking for someone to blame for their lack of happiness, a lack of identity, lack of sense of prosperity, their lack of direction in the world. And Kanye is advocating for hope, optimism, and a renewed sense of fellowship. Kanye is trying to resurrect the American dream within the African American community, which makes him Democratic enemy number one. Keep your minds open, all right? It's not about absolute evil versus absolute good. It's about people who want some kind of prosperity, and hopefully we could get there, but Kanye is not the villain of the black community. Kanye is not the enemy of the black man. Trying to find out who is.